XXX underscore Doomslayer 69 420 underscore XXX.
Dabs twice.
We now have Stage 2 playoffs featuring the Shanghai Dragons.
Stage 2 playoffs featuring my favorite team, the Shanghai Dragons. Never said a bad word about them, the Shanghai Dragons.
Best team historically of all time, Shanghai Dragons.
Absolutely. Hello and welcome to the Full Tank Podcast. We're back. Oh boy.
After a week hiatus.
I was on the road. Where was I on Monday? I was in Utah on Monday.
Oh.
I was hiking around the canyons of Utah, Zion Park. It was absolutely fantastic. But now I'm home. I'm in Cleveland. This is the first Full Tank Podcast recorded in the same time zone.
Yeah. When are we getting a Utah Overwatch League team?
I would be super into it.
The Salt Lake City Travelers. We'll say Travelers.
Yeah.
That's actually a decent name for them.
Because, yeah, they'll figure something out.
You can take that Overwatch League sponsored by Coca-Cola and Budweiser.
Oh, yeah. Well, how are you, Ben? It's been 2 weeks since we've talked. We've gotten a lot of things going with the league. We had our homestead. We have playoffs coming up. What's going on?
I'm doing good. Back in Platt, I made this big-ass bowl of spaghetti for dinner with, like, ton of sauces, ton of Italian sausage, ground beef. It was really good.
Well, goddamn. I had eggplant and beef. I don't know what it was called. It was some kind of lasagna, but it was really good. Speaking of beef. Oh, boy.
We have some more news that San Francisco Shock are the first team to officially to have a perfect stage.
Woo! Wait.
28-0 map differential.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I
7
thought you meant
straight 4-0s.
That's insane.
The one that and the best part is the team that gave it to them, the Shanghai Dragons, their last 4-0. They are currently going to play first round, first match in the Stage 2 playoffs.
Well, we'll get to Stage 2 playoffs in a little bit, but beef also has a lot to do with our first Homestead event, which was awesome. It was really cool.
We can jump into the past couple weeks real quick, but there's actually a couple pieces of news that came out. The big one is Overwatch Workshop, which came out I think that direct was after I posted the video for 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think it was in typical Full Tank Podcast. We missed the boat right before that happened.
Ridiculous.
But it's super cool. So for anyone who is somehow listening to this that doesn't know what that is, it's the Overwatch Workshop. It is a tool that players can use now to basically tweak every little aspect of the game if they want to. You know, we've already seen tag, we've seen racing, Hammond racing, we've seen zombie modes, all this crazy stuff.
We've seen people firing cannons that pop out Torbjorns.
Yes.
Somebody created Pong. It was ridiculous.
I didn't see the Pong one. Was it with Reinhardt?
It was just on Reddit. They had the little balls that you could make and move around. They just made Pong.
It's a stupid little user tool that nobody asked for, but it's super cool.
It's cool. I'm excited to see what they do with it. I wouldn't call it a stupid tool because there have been many great things to come out of this. For instance, the first main one was Warcraft 3 did something like this in 2002 or 3. And that actually spawned Dota.
That's a very good point.
And then there's also the popular Steam Workshop as well.
Right.
That a lot of other great games have come out on. So
I just hope that the people that are really good with this stuff start finding different ways to do tournament formats with this. I would like to see some, somehow to in-game way to do hero bans, things like that. I think that'd be cool.
There's so many good things people are making. Straight up, it single-handedly made the Overwatch subreddit a lot better.
Oh, for sure. It breathed life into it for a little bit,
Because we still have the stupid play of the games, but now we actually have people's creations, and they're actually fairly interesting. And there's a lot of cool content.
Oh yeah.
Granted, that's going to tone down a bit, and it already has, but it's still so interesting.
But it's some good content when like Seagull for like 6 days straight posts videos on YouTube about Workshop. Like that's good stuff. That's good publicity.
But I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm excited to see what the first ever huge game that's going to be spawned out of Overwatch Workshop will be.
Right. Yeah. Like give these players some tools, let them mess around with everything. People are still figuring it out. It's only been out for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, already people are figuring out some really cool stuff, but
it took like a day for them to make Prop Hunt in it.
Oh, of course.
Like popularly created out of Team Fortress 2.
Of course.
If we're going to copy TF2, we may as well just wear it on our sleeves.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there's a couple other little pieces of thing. We got an actual little lore transmission about Maximilian when he was interrogated, talking about Doomfist in Singapore, supposedly in a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get some more lore coming up.
More lore. I think the anniversary event will actually have a game mode.
I would love that. I think they should actually have something to do along with anniversary. Yeah,
potential Singapore map. It's interesting. That was literally the only thing we heard about it as a teaser. Today is the last day of archives. Fun fact as well, I think.
I hardly got any loot boxes, I'll be honest.
I boxed the Ash skin, I bought the Moira skin, and then I boxed the Soldier skin, so I'm like all good.
The Soldier skin was good. I like the Soldier skin.
Very nice.
Side note about skins, speaking of Seagull too, he also in a recent video was repping the DeFran jersey. He had the Atlanta Reign Torbjorn skin.
I was watching that stream for a little bit, and why does he have all those Atlanta Reign skins? Because it wasn't just on Torbjorn.
I think he probably has a Torb skin for DeFran. You know, I think that one is probably jersey wise. But I don't know. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen all of his other skins that he usually uses. I think he still uses a few fuel skins, but actually, while I was watching Homestead, I saw Mickey and Taimu up there, which shocking. We actually got to see Mickey and Taimu.
Taimu is not dead.
He's not dead. He was alive and well. This is a while ago now, so he could have died in that time.
That's true.
But
we also saw Harry Hook there, who was the oldest person on the team by a few years, and he just looks so crotchety.
He did. Yeah, that walkout for those three, because they sent those three out. Oh, I don't know. They did Mickey and then Harry Hook. And then maybe Taimu, I think. Yeah, they got the three benched players out first.
Oh man. At least they start with Mickey, because that's just appreciated. But
They gotta.
And then lastly, they officially announced the Overwatch All-Star Break starting roster. Yes. They have all the game modes too as well, but we're going to dive into those next week before the All-Star Break. So we have a little bit more to talk about.
Do you want to go over the roster for All-Star?
Yes. Okay. So from the Atlantic Division, we have Jonak, of course, on support. Fusions, main tank from Boston Uprising. Carpe, damage dealer from Philly. Poco, off tank for Fusions. Arc, support player for Washington Justice. And then out of left field, we got Pine.
Yeah.
From New York Excel.
Out of nowhere.
He has not seen the field yet. He has not seen the stage. He has been riding the bench. His reaction to this was just, what?
What? Yeah, really. I mean,
what?
I guess he's still got the big name, because this was fan voted, wasn't it?
Oh, it was definitely fan voted, and you can tell in the Pacific Division when you have three players from the Chengdu Hunters, Jinmu, Among, and Yveltal.
Yeah.
Two from Seoul Dynasty, Fleta and Jaehong, and then you have Gushui, the main tank for Hangzhou Spark.
But we have half the team as Chengdu Hunters.
It's fan voted.
Yeah.
And they're probably the favorite team for the fans this year, Chengdu Hunters, because they're so much fun to watch. Among, I bet Among received more votes than literally any other player.
Oh, God, yeah.
I want to see the actual votes per person. Like, I voted for Mickey. I knew he wasn't going to get in.
But it was worth a shot. But, I mean, like, the Hammond to watch, they're like the most fun Hammond to watch.
Yeah.
They had to get him in there.
Like, this is problematic. This is all... It's so stupid.
It's ridiculous.
Like, Among, he deserves to be in it. He's a fan favorite. Everybody loves him. Solid wrecking ball player.
Yeah.
And everything else. Jinmu plays a ton of Pharah. That's great. Good for him. Can play some Genji. Great projectile player. Great for the team. One of the best on that team. And then Yveltal, like, I get it.
Right.
He facilitates Among and Jinmu, letting them play whatever they want, I guess.
But I don't know. I think they should have had a one player limit from each team. You know, like if you got a teammate on there, they should have shut out your team.
Like last year when 7 players from the New York Excel were on the All-Star.
Right.
When each team had like 12 players total.
Yeah.
7 of them were Excel. That was ridiculous.
So yeah, weird roster for All-Stars, but very cool skins. I like the skins.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I like how they kind of changed up the colors into like an Perry or like an indigo color and the tan. Like Pacific, they got 2 main tanks in Among and Gushue. Like I like Among's just gonna play Wrecking Ball, right? Gushue will play like Winston and Reinhardt.
But still, it's 2 main tanks, and then I mean, it's very like it's all gonna be weird. Like I'm looking at the maps right now, and it's all gonna be just like stupid stuff, of course.
Almost definitely. If it's gonna be stupid stuff, give me Among right away.
Oh god, yeah. Like to go through the maps, we've got map 1 is Sibling Rivalry, which is
let's talk about these next week.
Okay, yeah.
Because we have
we'll go over the specifics of it the week before.
Just one final note: my favorite inclusion out of all of All-Star Break is Fusion's the main tank of the Uprising.
Of course.
He is the best player on that roster on Uprising. He is the great shot caller, makes the team work around him. Extremely solid player, and I'm very happy that everybody else thinks so as well.
Oh, for sure. All right. Moving on into our first ever Homestead.
The first home game in esports history.
It was for our boys in blue, the Dallas Fuel.
The boys in blue.
It was a really cool event. They really kind of went all out for it, you know, because they gotta hype it up. They gotta make the first one cool so that it's, you know, people want to keep going to these things. The crowd was really into it.
It was Paris versus London first. I actually got a Slaughter of the Week, right? London 4-0'd them.
Nice.
They got the first map on Busan, and then we waited an hour because there was an electrical shortage in the city of Dallas.
Whoops. Thank you, Seoul Dynasty, for destroying Houston Outlaws in that game. And then it culminated with, day 1 culminated with us just absolutely destroying Valiant.
Oh, that was so much fun to watch. I have a lot of notes on this. Soon looked really bad against London.
Yeah.
Gesture was hilarious because on one of the it was on Kings Row. London was on offense. Gesture was the one taking the free shot as Widowmaker, and he actually outsniped Soon.
Oh my god.
He hit him in the head, and like they showed his stats at the end of the game, and they just showed his Widowmaker stat: 1 shot fired, 100% scope accuracy, 1 critical hit.
Well, what was the one play that Soon had? Where was that last week or this week? Where a Tracer was coming up on Soon. I can't remember which Tracer it was, but he just swings around and just point blank headshots this Tracer, and everyone loses their mind. Did you see that
this
clip?
Week.
That was this week.
Dallas Homestand Soon was really bad.
Yeah.
Soon was really bad.
But yeah, and then day 2, of course, culminated in the match. It was the big fight for Texas, which we have historically done very, very bad at. We were 0-3 or 0-4 going into...
I think it was 0-3.
Yeah, so we had lost every match against Houston, but we 3-1'd them because
Dallas came out with a 3-1. That being said, the game was a lot more competitive than the 3-1 score would make it seem.
Right.
Like it was back and forth the entire time. I was very happy Dallas came out with a Winston, Diva, Lucio, Ana, Zen, ACAM Soldier, Zachary, Sombra dive variant that actually looked pretty good.
I mean, I always love a Soldier AKM.
Yeah. Zachary, on the other hand, looked really bad.
Yeah.
They finally they figured out that we just need to isolate OGE and Zachary because I guess they play up too far away and wipe them out. Zachary's in such a fun. He's not playing well. He's always dying first in the team fights, and he still gets focused on first. And he even got to play Genji against Houston on Anubis, and he wasn't good.
Right.
Like, he was against a comp that he should do well in. Like, I think they had like Roadhogs and Orisa. Like, he should be able to do great about that. He wasn't holding up.
Your Genji should be your main killer of that Orisa.
Yeah. That being said, he literally graduated high school that week, so he had a lot going on.
Right.
But
oh, well, he did get to play some Hanzo this week too.
He sure did.
He's getting some time on. I think he needs, some more practice on other heroes to kind of on the stage to get him more hyped up and into things. Because he is a good DPS. He is, but he's just been brigaded into the ground.
Yeah,
of course. But
just
overall,
a quick note about Houston. They finished 0-7.
Oh my god!
I'm just saying. Last year, Dallas had both Kai coaching them and XQC holding them back on the roster. We had two locker room cancers, and we still didn't not get a stage.
Right. So
Texas Hard was the worst slogan, and now that Houston changed it to Ante Up, their record is letting them pay for it.
They've got to suffer a little bit.
They got to suffer.
Slogan. Yeah, absolutely. But Homestead was cool. It was very cool to get the home game. I mean, like, the fans loved it. You could tell.
Oh my god, it was so much fun to look at.
I want more. So what's the next one now?
Atlanta.
Stage 3 is Atlanta. That'll be a good one.
Okay, I'm so pissed off because the last one is LA for the Valiant and Glads. I'm like, okay, so you're advertising 3 big homestands this year, and one of them is where you always have it.
Right. What's the point?
Get that weak stuff out of here.
I'm confused with the Atlanta one. Just quickly looking at it, the schedule has Atlanta not playing the final match both days.
Really?
Yeah, they're the second to last match each day. Why would they do that? They should be the grand finale each day. That's strange.
Interesting.
So
because it's the last week. It is the last week. That is.
Maybe they'll switch it around because that's just weird.
I feel like they should. Oh, I mean, I guess Dallas has a bigger fan base than Atlanta, and they have bigger rivals. But I'd still put Atlanta last. Like,
the home games should be for them. It should be that. That's the big event that you go for.
Come on, Dallas. You have an LA Valiant, right? You have three homestands. One of them is in LA, and then you can't even give Dallas the last day or Atlanta the last day. In the LA homestand, you still have Valiant playing the last every time.
What the hell is going on?
Also, why they have Gladiators listed for Saturday? Why don't they have that as the Sunday game?
Right, the LA that should be the end of it. We need to call Blizzard headquarters, Incorporated HQ, and have a word with them about the scheduling. We've always said that we need to be advisors for them. We need to go fix this shit.
I think Brent's 23. I can cast if he can.
Yeah.
He was wearing sandals and he was wearing socks and flip flops this week. I should be a caster.
But yeah, I think that the Homestead was done pretty well for us, at least.
I'm very sad about Paris because Paris they're making simple mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed because Paris is extremely predictable right now.
Right.
Like, they'll sub in Danye for 2 CP and payload every single time. And then you're playing Bunker or Pirate Ship. Danye equals Bastion, and it's easy to game plan around.
Well, I mean, Bunker in general is just easy to play around once you
figure I have a big thing listed out right now about Bunker.
Yeah.
I call it the Bunker Paradox. Bunker is a cheese composition, supposed to get easy wins by creating an unkillable pocket. Gives a worse team the chance to take down a better team, right?
Right.
That being said, the team that plays Bunker usually loses. The strategy against Bunker is to farm ults for a couple minutes. Then you take the ults, break the Bunker with them, then snowball the second point when the opposing team switches back to goats. That's what happened in London versus Paris. At this point, they have no ults versus a goats team that snowballed with ults and stalls a ton up. That's what happened in London versus Paris. London did a conventional goats defense. Paris capped both points with like a 2-minute time bank. Paris did Bunker. London won with 5.5 minutes, and then won the match in a landslide. I mean,
what's the point of running Bunker then? Do you just go back to traditional goats and try and just grind that out? and make everything boring, what's the point of going bunker in the first place?
Here's the paradox part. If the better team is using bunker during the initial 4 minutes, it's more likely that the other team will not get enough momentum to pull ahead because the better team's using it.
Right.
And if the better team is going into the bunker, then they use their discipline and snowball to win with a sizable time bank. But like, if you're the better team using bunker, why wouldn't you just be using Goats' defense?
Right.
Because Goats is a better defense.
I could see them wanting to switch it up and be slightly less mind-numbingly boring, but you run into that. What's the point?
Like, we see it happen every single game. That you snowball and win with a sizable time bank if you're against bunker. My thought is that if you're gonna try to win, you should hold off on using bunker until the enemy team has a small time bank to try and crack it. Like,
that's a good point. Yeah, like that should be final. Like, I mean, 2 CP when you're holding for 30 seconds on point A. Yeah,
like once you both have once you both have 2 points and the other team has like a minute 30 to crack it, that's when you play bunker. They can't get their Zarya grab up in time. Can't get through it.
And at that point, you kind of shock and awe them too, because you're playing the whole game. Pretty standard Goats or whatever you're playing, and then boom, out of nowhere, Bastion, Yeah,
but like even in that scenario where bunkers should be good at that, like you'd rather play Goats because that should be more consistent.
Right. So it's all situational.
Feels bad, man. Feels bad.
I mean, we're always talking about when Goats is going to officially die and everything. I don't see it ever happening in a traditional sense. We're always going to have Goats, just like we'll always kind of have dive and kind of have bunker.
And that's why it's good that stage 3 is going to kick off at the beginning of June. It's the beginning of May now. It's actually going to start a month from now, with June 6th.
So are we going to have new patches by that point, probably?
Oh, we'll definitely have a new patch, but will we see sweeping changes?
I don't think we're going to get sweeping changes.
Mm-hmm.
I think there needs to be a comp change relatively soon.
Yes.
I think there needs to be a change to how just basic comp works. Whether that be hero bans, whether that be, map selections or things like that. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not the developer. It's not my job to figure that out. But we need something to make these, very, very abusable comps something to kind of help against it. Even if it's just, hero banning Brigitte, as hero easy as that may be.
See, I don't even know if a locked 2-2-2 roll queue for Overwatch League and comp will even fix Goats.
Right.
Because if they do 2-2-2, what are you gonna play? Brigitte, Lucio, Rein, Zarya, Sombra, and what, Widow?
Yeah. I mean that's Widow more exciting, I guess, because I do like watching, Widow play, but even still, the Widow's not going to do much when you're still have all those shields and everything,
Maybe we'll actually see Reinhardt in that or not Reinhardt, Reaper in that situation.
Yeah, that's always the thing. Oh, we'll finally get the tank buster, the typecast tank buster Reaper, and then nobody ever plays Reaper because nobody wants to tank bust with Reaper.
I was playing Overwatch. I was in comp last weekend.
Yeah.
And 3 games in a row, I went up against a carry Reaper, and it was not fun.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't die.
Did he have a platinum border, and was his name XX Soul Ripper 320 or 420?
Probably, I don't know, man. It was ridiculous. It was multiple people too.
Oh God. That was one of my favorite things at the start of this game, was just there was an entire Twitter account that was just called Reaper account names. And it was just ridiculous names that people were playing Reaper under.
XXX underscore Doomslayer 69 420 underscore XXX.
Dabs twice. You have to have the ridiculously edgy Reaper names, of course. But yeah, I think something needs to change soon.
Yeah.
If they do change it to 2-2-2 roll comp, or at least add different modes,
Yeah.
or different rules for comp at least, or even to the point where if they get to high level comp, it rules switch. I think that
Well, they did recently implement for season 16 that if you're Grandmaster or above, you cannot group up with more than one person.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you can only duo if you're Grandmaster or above now, which is pretty sweet.
That's good. Yeah.
So you don't see like the dreaded Jonak, Carpe, and whatever Q and like GM, and you're just like, well, I guess I'm losing this game.
There was a great clip from an old Moon stream where
Oh
when he
man,
was still playing Overwatch, and he gets matched up against the half of Envious, who turned into Dallas Fuel. He got matched up with like Chips, Coco, and somebody else. I can't remember who the other player was.
probably like
He's like, oh shit, half of Envious, and instantly left the game just to like not have to deal with that shit.
Yeah, because we were the best. That was the best team in NA.
Oh god, yeah. Like old school Envious was awesome.
When
So
nobody
fun.
knew how to play the game and Janice was actually the best main tank player.
Yeah.
They were
Weird
like, okay,
times.
casters were even calling out Janice, I think, during, I don't know if they were playing in Dallas Homestand,
Yeah.
if it was last week or the week before. Something like that. And they were like, yeah, Janice used to be the best main tank in the league. That's because he would do all these stupid shatters and try and be overly sneaky. But now everybody realizes that you can just look around. So, like, he lost all of his skill just from that.
Right. But yeah, so we had the Homestead weekend, and then honestly, Dallas Fuel, after two just awful 4-0s, they're on a pretty good head of steam right now. I mean, they won their last, what, 3 in a row?
Yes.
And we secured our spot in
Granted, we were against Los Angeles Valiant 3-4, Houston Outlaws 0-7, Florida Mayhem 0-7.
So yeah, we kind of got shooed into the playoffs.
Yeah. Let's quickly talk about week 5.
Yeah.
Dallas beat Florida 3-1. Great win. Florida's looking better, but they still are pretty bad.
Right. And that's just how they're going to be for the rest of the season. They're going to constantly kind of look better and then still fall off the map.
Guangzhou beat Houston, which is awesome. I called Boston versus LA Gladiators.
Nice.
Toronto took a map off Vancouver, which okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this for a second. Yeah. They said like Toronto was actually doing pretty well against Vancouver that match.
Yeah.
And that's because Toronto is still a pretty well coached team. They're just trying to get their act together with a lot of things. And they know how to make Bumper pay for his overly aggressive nature.
Right.
And that's what it's going to come down to.
That's a good coaching thing. You have to, I mean, because really it's Vancouver. They are pretty much unstoppable right now. What is that fix? And you need to look at small things like that. Like you need to figure out how to punish each of those players individually, you know?
Yeah. And
with the Bumper, you just need to punish that aggressiveness.
When it inevitably comes back to San Francisco Shock versus Vancouver Titans in the finals, that already went to Game 7 4-3, and they're looking so much better now. The Shock.
Oh yeah, Shock are.
We can go over our predictions in a bit, but right now,
they're potentially gonna.
Will Shock beat Vancouver?
It could happen. It's a very serious possibility. We'll talk about more later for our predictions, but it might. They're looking fantastic right now. There's nothing wrong with Shock right now. You know, they're undefeated in a stage. They are a perfect stage. I mean, let's go into stage playoffs and see who they're going to be facing first. It's going to be,
of course,
Shanghai. So I could very easily see them 4-0 Shanghai.
They did this week.
Exactly. And then
congratulations to the Shanghai Dragons going 0-40 season 1, and they're in their first stage playoffs this stage.
Hey, woo!
Very happy for them. Very happy for them. And they get to get 4-0 again by the San Francisco Shock game 1.
But hey, they made it. And
they made it. Progress. Honestly, really cool on them.
Yeah, no, I'm happy for them.
Valiant beat Chengdu Hunters, furthering my assertion that Chengdu Hunters are the dumbest team to predict right now.
They're just impossible to predict.
My only miscalled game last week for Dallas Homestand was Chengdu Hunters versus London Spitfire. I thought London was going to win, and London lost 3-1 to Chengdu.
God.
Then you have this week where Chengdu just gets 3-1 by Valiant, and I'm like, or 3-2 by Valiant. At least they got to a game 5. I'm like, come on, guys.
Come on. we had
Atlanta beat New York Excel again.
I was just about to say that.
I was watching that game, and I'm just like, no goddamn way.
How does that happen?
They got to a game 5. I mean,
yeah, they go to game 5 and then they just win.
I want to see both of those games analyzed very well. I want to see just dive into those.
Like Jane dive into
it. Makes me upset because we're not going to get that because Jane's going to be too busy right now with Fuel coaching everything.
Yeah.
I really hope once we get forward by Vancouver on Friday, we get Jane's video immediately about Atlanta Reign versus New York Excel.
We'll get some good Jane stuff coming up. Do you want to go into just stage playoffs?
Yeah, but just like this is the first time New York Excel has ever been swept by a team on a season. They played 2 games in a row and lost both of them.
Oof, that's rough. So our Thursday and Friday lineup for stage 2 playoffs is going to be Shanghai Dragons versus San Francisco Shock, and then Hangzhou Spark versus London Spitfire on Thursday. And Friday is going to be New York Excel versus Gladiators and Dallas Fuel versus Vancouver Titans.
Yes.
Good 8 teams, I think, for this playoffs. I mean,
That's
obviously,
very solid 8 teams. 2
we're gonna have
Chinese teams in Hangzhou and Shanghai.
Hell
Wu Shui is the very first Chinese player to make A stage playoffs.
Really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah! Nice.
Because all of Shanghai got gutted.
Right. Top to bottom.
I think Dia is the only remaining player on that roster at the start of last year.
That sounds right. I think that's.
And he's not even going to be playing the next couple weeks because of family issues, I think.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't think he was playing really anyway. Well, that's not true. He came in against Houston a couple weeks ago. He was the one playing Ash on Anubis. That was a great Anubis map.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we got to see some Ash. Oh, I always love seeing Ash.
Yeah.
But I think that there's going to be, right away, we're going to have to accept the fact that Dallas Fuel are not going to move on because our first game is going to be against Titans, which is troublesome for us.
Yeah.
It's not going to go well. I really want to see. So I can't remember how this breaks down, like which winners fight which. But
give me a bracket, man. Like Dallas is playing Vancouver. Vancouver is 2 and Dallas is 6.
I think they may have given us a bracket. They may have given us a bracket. Let me quickly try and find.
It's not because it's fluid. It's very fluid in how it works.
So, okay. So it looks like the winner between Shanghai and San Fran will fight the winner between Hangzhou and London. So that will be San Fran versus London. And then the winner between Gladiators and Excel and Fuel and Titans will face each other. So that will be, whoever wins between New York Excel and Gladiators and Vancouver. And then
feels bad, man.
Feels very bad, man.
How do they organize their playoffs? Because Dallas is 6, and typical bracketology is they should fight London Spitfire.
Right here it says lowest remaining seed versus highest remaining seed versus second lowest remaining seed and second highest remaining seed. That's the 2 semifinal matches on May 11th.
Okay, well, that makes sense because that means the better team's playing the worst team. That's how brackets work. But how do we get London playing Hangzhou Spark, the 3 seed playing the 7 seed?
I don't know.
And the 2 seed playing the 6 seed? That doesn't make sense.
Again, we should go to blizzard.com//Blizzard HQ and make some very strong complaints and be like, what the fuck is going on? We should not be fighting Titans.
Like, I'd rather fight Spitfire because I think we could beat Spitfire.
Oh, I absolutely think we could beat Spitfire. I just sent you the picture of the bracket, but it's going to be good matches. Shanghai, do you want to go into our predictions?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So first match, Shanghai Dragons versus San Fran Shock. I love them.
San Fran is gonna win.
They're just too good right now.
Will they 4-0 them again? Oh, that'd be a 3-0 actually. Yeah, probably then.
Probably.
Yeah,
yeah probably.
Yeah.
So that
San Fran, people have been criticizing San Fran a little bit because they said their strength of schedule was not the best this stage. I mean, I think it was average, if not around the same as Vancouver's was.
Right.
But
so I got us both down for Shock for that one, which is pretty obvious. Next game is going to be Hangzhou Spark versus London Spitfire.
Hangzhou Spark is looking really solid right now.
They're looking good.
Not gonna lie, they're okay. They're 5-2 though. They're 5-2 with a -1 map differential.
That's not horrible. Hold on, let me check. Oh yeah, so
how does that work?
How does that work?
Is that 2 4-0s, and then did they only win 3 2s? No, they got a 3-1 against London.
Huh?
How does it work? 2 4-0s and 8 differential.
I'm confused as to how. Oh no, they have. I have no idea. That looks weird. Now I'm looking at the score right now.
They didn't even tie a map, so.
Huh. Well.
Yeah, no. So all of their wins were 3 2s then.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. That's not true. Because they didn't 4-0 anybody because they all won 3. 2 of them had to be 4-0 losses. So that's 8 wins. And it's 8, and then the remaining 5, I guess, were just pretty one-sided. How many? They had to play a lot of 3 2s.
Probably had to. Yeah, they probably had a bunch of 3 2s. I don't know. This one's gonna be close. I think. Because I don't think that London is as good as they could be right now.
Yeah. I mean, London was a well-oiled machine that just got broke on Chengdu against Chengdu, and I think that's only because they were playing Chengdu,
right?
Who is just unconventional. Hangzhou likes to be a very conventional team, though, in how they play against others. So I think I'll have to give it to Spitfire at this point, but
I will too, just because I think that you got to kind of play it safe with these calls. I don't want to be wrong again, but yeah. Next game is going to be, let's see, New York Excel versus Gladiators. This will actually be a pretty good game.
It'll be a good game.
I'm looking forward to this one. This one might, besides, well, actually, this is the one I'm most looking forward to for this first 2 days.
I just did the math. Okay, 3 of their 5 wins were 3-2 wins in overtime. Okay. The other 2 were 3-1s. So with that would be your 15 map wins. Their 2 losses were 4-0 losses against Shock and Vancouver.
Which, of course.
Yeah. And so the remaining loss, there'd be another 8 map losses as well. Go. So yeah.
But yeah, this is the game I'm most looking forward to this week. New York Excel Gladiators. I wanna say that I'm gonna go with Gladiators, even though I think New York Excel will probably win it. But I'm going to go with Gladiators.
Are really shook right now.
Oh God, yeah.
Atlanta really roughed them up a bit.
Yeah.
They proved that they can be beaten well. Los Angeles Gladiators is a really well-coached team. They can do a lot of cool strats.
For sure.
I mean,
they did have a rough loss to Boston.
Well, it was a 3-2 loss though. No, it was 3-1. It was 3-1. Wow.
But I don't know. They're still looking good right now.
I'll say this: Boston isn't a cakewalk.
Right.
A lot of it.
Oh God, no.
They can be really good. I think it was honestly a fine loss for Gladiators.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna make the bold decision and go with Gladiators for this one. And maybe that will, if you're gonna go the other way, that will give us a match too.
Yeah, I want to be different, so I'll go with Excel.
Cool. We'll have a show match between me and you this week.
A bit of conflict.
Yeah, we'll have we'll have some artificial conflict.
I'm gonna take the best team in Overwatch League history. Yeah, it's my bold prediction.
Yeah. And then of course, our last match of Friday, it's going to be Dallas Fuel versus Vancouver Titans.
I'd like to say Dallas will take a map, but like I know in my heart that Vancouver is too good. They're too aggressive.
Right.
And everybody knows to just isolate and burn down OGE and Zachary because I guess they play out of position now.
I guess so.
So Vancouver's has to 4-0 them at this point.
Probably. I don't see it going any other way. And that's sad, but it
feels bad, man.
So for that one, we will both go with Titans.
To put into perspective, all of Dallas's wins were against bad teams this year.
Yeah.
This stage. 4-0 against Toronto, 2-1 against Paris. And then we lost 4-0 against Vancouver. We lost 4-0 against Seoul, a team that we beat before.
Yeah.
But we 4-0'd Los Angeles. We 3-1 Houston. 2 more bad teams. And then we 3-1 Florida. I think we had a really easy schedule, and that's why we're where we are.
For sure. So with those wins, I mean, with the only kind of variable right now between the two of us being New York Excel and Gladiators, that would put our Saturday match at San Francisco Shock versus London Spitfire and Vancouver Titans versus Excel or Gladiators.
It's the high seed plays the worst team, right?
Well, I think it just goes by.
Yeah, it's lowest remaining seed plays highest remaining seed. So that'd be like the one playing the 8. So it'd be Shock versus Gladiators or Excel.
Okay. So, and then London versus Titans.
Yeah.
So in the London versus Titans match, I'm going to take Vancouver, of course. I'm going to put that one down. Yeah, I'll take Titans against Vancouver. Or, sorry,
this is
Titans versus
so tough.
Do you think? You think that this
Toronto was competitive against them.
But here's the thing. It's going to be playoffs.
Yeah.
It's going to be stage playoffs. They're going to be trying to play out of their minds.
Because what is it for? Is it still best of 3 at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably Vancouver. Probably Vancouver then. I mean, London is really hot right now. They're really good right now.
Yeah. But do you see them getting the first win off of Vancouver?
Did we expect Seoul to get the first one off Excel?
True.
Or Atlanta beating twice?
True.
God, why
now we could both be wrong. We could both be wrong, and Dallas Fuel could be just the heroes that we.
Let's not get too crazy. We both know that Dallas arguably shouldn't be in here.
Yeah. Well, what can you do? We're here now, bitches.
We're here now. Hashtag burn blue.
I'll still take Vancouver in that match.
Yeah, I'll take Vancouver.
Okay. So we'll have Titans going to finals again.
I'll say Vancouver, but I think it'll be more close because Bumper's just polling everybody on what characters he needs to play.
So we'll take that to a game 5.
Okay, so Vancouver said they would post that today. They would post the poll on their Twitter today. I'm trying to find it. Oh wait, where is it? We want the craziest DPS picks. Okay, so it's in his. Oh, it's not a poll. It's just a Twitter post. That's dumb. Okay. So Vancouver are gonna make it in, and then it's a Shock versus Gladiator / Excel.
So let's take each of those matches then. Shock versus Excel.
Shock versus Excel. I think this is a more competitive match than Shock versus Gladiators.
Me too.
Gladiators, they lost a heartbreaking one to Boston Uprising, who is an okay team, and they're proving they can be beat. I don't know if Los Angeles' schedule was pretty good this stage or not.
Check.
But I think in that we're still going to have San Francisco win. I think Los Angeles will probably take a map at least, but
right. I think that it will probably be if it was between Gladiators and Vancouver, Gladiators and Shock. Mm-hmm. I think they could take a map.
Yeah.
Which would piss San Francisco off, and then
they got the perfect stage. I think they're fine, and they're just going to shift their.
Right.
I mean, they already shift their focuses on just play it one game at a time. Like they're just going to try and win at this point.
Oh God, yeah.
So,
but if it was Shock versus Gladiators, I think that's an easy Shock win every time. Yeah. But Shock New York Excel, that would be an interesting one.
That's tougher. It's tougher.
I could see Excel winning that one for sure.
Easily.
It would go to game 5, I think, for sure.
Probably.
If that happens, that might be the best match this week. Well, depending on what the final match is, because I think that...
For the record, New York Excelsior had 4-0'd San Francisco Shock week 4 in stage 1.
That was stage 1.
That's stage 1. New York Excel's looking a lot more beatable. San Francisco Shock is looking a lot better now.
For sure.
Looking a lot better. They're fine-tuned everything. But they still haven't played as many tough opponents. And then Excel was getting beaten by the likes of Atlanta twice.
Atlanta twice. Yeah, that's rough.
But New York usually chokes in the playoffs.
They do. They're famous for choking in the playoffs.
The joke was when they lost to Atlanta is that New York must have thought they were playing in a playoff game.
Oh no.
I'll take Shock.
I think ultimately you have to go Shock.
Either way,
it's going to be a good game.
To preface this, Slaughter of the Week is going to be Vancouver versus Dallas.
I was going to say, we have 2 options for Slaughter of the Week. We have Shock versus Dragons or Fuel versus Titans.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so too.
Because out of all the teams in this stage, Fuel has had by far the easiest schedule.
Yeah, for sure. And you know that not only do they know about the OGE Zachary, issue, but they've got ways to kill every other last hero on or every last player on our team. They know exactly how to kill us.
Like, honest question. Is the Dallas Fuel organization going to be disbanded when Bumper just destroys all of them with Reaper?
If Bumper just only plays Reaper the entire game, and just wipes the floor with us, 4-0s us, I think that's when we just have to tear everything down.
I think the format's is 1st to 3, which is best of 5.
Oh, let's see.
At this point. Or it might just be the regular.
I think it's just the regular.
4. I don't even know, man. Well, it's still 1st to 3 then. I don't even know. No, I think the first round is standard how we do it. How each age does it, except we stop playing the irrelevant maps.
Yeah.
So, like,
we don't
say Vancouver wins the King of the Hill, Dallas ties 2 CP, and then Vancouver wins hybrid 2-0, they win.
Yeah. And if Vancouver wins the first 3, then they won't bother playing the 4th one. But yeah, it'll be a good week. So, with our predictions, that would make the finals Shock versus Vancouver Titans, which would be a very good game, of course.
The rematch.
We've already seen it happen.
This will be the 3rd time it's happened.
Shock versus Titans?
Yeah, because they played in stage 1.
Oh, yeah, they played just normally in stage 1.
Yeah.
Huh. So, I mean, with that playoff and how they are now, I think it will be a much better game.
Oh, by far. They're riding a lot higher. Vancouver's really cocky, but
Shock right now has the capital to back it up right now.
They're a well-oiled machine at this point.
They've got their rhythm right now.
Mm-hmm. Vancouver's beatable.
They're beatable. I mean, they are obviously currently aren't beatable, but they are.
They haven't lost a game. They're 15-0. Not 50, 17-0 at this point.
They've got more blood in the stage 2 water than Shock does. That's for sure. Yeah. It's not like they're 4-0 every fucking game.
It'll go to the last map, I think, again.
Oh, for sure. This one's tough because to call Shock in this one is to call the end of the record.
Their coaching like I said in stage 1. how good the Shock look. Like early on. It's just they had an extremely tough schedule against Excel and Titans. But it seems that they fixed everything. They're a lot better coach at this point. They've done their homework on all their games.
Oh yeah.
I think Shock are going to take it. And I feel better about this than Shock versus Excel.
Okay. Let me do this then. Since you're going to take Shock, we'll have our last game of the week. If it goes to Shock versus Vancouver, we'll have that be another opposition for us.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll do. I'll be Titans. You'll be Shock.
Okay. If Shock wins, I'm going to buy a San Francisco Shock, at least an Overwatch skin.
I will.
If Shock wins, should I buy a super jersey?
If Shock wins, if they take Vancouver out,
yeah,
I will buy a wristband.
A wristband.
Because I do not have.
They have Zoe. They have Zoe modeling on the shop website. That's very cute.
Nice. Yeah, I will.
I'm looking at their store right now.
I will get a San Francisco Shock wristband.
I love those joggers, but I'd rather have the Dallas Fuel joggers.
Oh yeah.
Wait, whoa! You can get $43 San Francisco Shock flip flops.
No fucking way.
I might get the socks.
The flip flops sound nice.
They look pretty solid. They have Shock written right on the fold.
Are they like orange and white?
No, they're like a carbon black.
Oh, damn
gray
it.
With Shock with some black symbols on it.
I would have loved like orange base with white.
There's a white version, a gray or white version.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. I'm just waiting for the Gucci line of apparel for our Overwatch League.
I'll buy some San Francisco Shock socks, and I'll get one of their skins.
Yeah.
Actually, I might just get a Shock skin anyway. Will I get my first ever non-Dallas skin?
It could possibly be here. And you do have 100 tokens again, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I got another 100 coin drop. I think I got Tracer last time. I swiftly got McCree.
Nice.
So
you got the Taimu skin, who we did see alive for the first time ever. The stage.
The EpX skin.
Oh yeah, that's the EpX skin. Well, not anymore.
Is he still listed on a roster?
I don't know. I haven't checked it a bit.
He wasn't at Homestand.
Let's see.
Yeah, he's still listed. He's still listed.
I wish he would have been there just to go up there and get like a little round of applause or something, you know.
Like when DeFran or somebody retired, they instantly kicked him out. Like on Toronto, it was Toronto's DPS player. As soon as he retired, they instantly had him off. But we still keep Effect on.
We love our Effects. We love him. He's so goddamn good.
Yeah. You heard it. I'll buy some San Francisco Shock socks if they beat Vancouver.
All right. You heard it here, folks. Well, that's kind of all we got for Overwatch League. Do you want to get into some games that we've been playing recently?
Oh man, we got some good stuff. I finished God of War.
How was it?
I have a 2.5 page review.
Oh Jesus!
I told you this.
Go for it.
I have it listed also farther down if you want to scroll down to it.
Okay.
And follow along. I'm pulling it up in its separate Google Doc. Okay. I have it listed, the good, the bad, and my overall TLDR conclusion section. The good. Some of the best, if not the best boss fights I've ever fought.
For sure.
Okay, okay, just a sec. I typed all this up. I spent a good hour or two typing this all up. And then I rewatched Donkey's God of War video. And it's basically the exact same thing. All the good that he hit on, all the bad they hit on. I'm like, well, okay.
Really quickly, were you able? Do you just have a PS4 Slim, right?
Yeah, just the Slim.
So my dad has his PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
He just decided to go get a PS4 Pro because he was bored, basically.
Of course.
And when I got home, I was able to try out God of War on the PS4 Pro, and it looks even more beautiful. It is insanely nice on the Pro.
Very nice.
Oh, all of his packs. Every last pore you could see on that man's muscle.
Like, and it looks really good already.
Oh, for sure.
But I'll get to that.
Go for it.
Yeah, some of the best boss, if not the best boss fights I've ever had in a video game. Right away, that first Baldur fight, big ass. Oh yeah, by the way, a lot of spoilers.
Yes,
for
spoilers.
The big ass dragon fight when you're climbing up the mine shaft and you're actually going down. Like, that was intense. Oh my god. Baldur featuring the big ass frost giant.
Oh my god.
That was an intense final fight.
Jormungandr coming out of nowhere and attacking the giant.
I loved the feel of it because, like, he would just switch in and out of being icy and being out of throat and being on fire, so you have to switch between the axe and the blades the entire time.
Yeah.
That was cool. The Magni and Modi fight were really sweet. Try and do all that. That was cool. The teleporting gatekeeper of Helheim.
Ooh.
That was
Helheim
cool.
In general was really, really cool. I loved Helheim.
That was pretty cool. It was teleporting everywhere. Got to really that's okay. At that point is where it felt this and the fire and frost giant trolls.
Yeah.
Later on, those were the two instances where I felt, okay, this is just Dark Souls.
For sure.
It's like, I know his attack pattern. I'm just gonna dodge roll out of the way and do everything. And then the Dark Elf King right away in All Time. Yeah, All Time. Yep. Next point is it's graphically insane. Fucking awesome set pieces like the Fallen Frost Giant. The hub world's really cool. All the dragons that show up everywhere. Land, especially at the end of the game, when you're going to the land of the giants with Boy, all of the dead giants are just all falling everywhere on the overworld way on the horizon, scattered out. There's a creepy outreached hand. The world snake as a whole in general too.
Yeah.
Like when they showed that set piece of the horizon with all of the dead giants, I was like, I took me back. Like, I was taken aback by it. Like, wow.
It's definitely probably that and Red Dead are probably the two best looking PS4 games. Easily.
I would throw Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's a really
I haven't played Star Wars
looking game.
So.
It's
really quick for your bosses. Did you go back and do the Valkyries yet?
I did the first one, which was easy, and I tried doing another one, and then it was beating my ass.
Oh yeah.
Like, the first Valkyrie was just a training Valkyrie, and the rest are actually challenging.
The final Valkyrie is really tough, really fun, and you get really good loot off of it. So if you do want to go back and try and get all that.
Because there was the one that I heard, there was the one in Niflheim.
Yes.
Where, like, there's the poisonous gas everywhere, and you have to kill that while you're getting whittled down by it or something.
Shockingly not as hard as you would think. That was one of the easier ones that I fought.
Okay.
So that one wasn't too bad.
I think I tried doing the one that was I already did. The easy one was the one by the frost giant, the dead frost giant. Where's the other one I did? I don't even remember.
Okay, but
I got my ass beat.
Yeah, I definitely think that last Valkyrie fight was really cool.
Okay. Next point is the amazing characters and writing. I love Kratos' deadpan humor. Atreus, it was really cool seeing Atreus' arc throughout the entire story as well. He just went from being nervous to, like, more confident to just being back to sickly to being an extremely arrogant person to just a fucking dick.
I hated him.
Back to being a badass kid.
The badass kid part was perfectly played out in the last fight when you were doing the combo attack.
Oh, that was so cool.
I go back and just watch the combo attack every once in a while just to see how cool it was.
A cool art. Oh man.
Yeah.
It was extremely well written.
For sure.
Like, that year it was last year I think it was for the BAFTAs. Jeremy Davies, who played Baldur, I think got the BAFTA for performance.
Yeah.
I think both Kratos and Christopher Judge and Boy were also nominated.
They were.
I would have given that to Boy. He was so good.
He was fantastic. Oh yeah.
It was fantastic. Brock and Sindri were hilarious.
Yeah.
Just Baldur, like, Baldur's whole anguish throughout the entirety of it, because he's really cocky and then he's actually, like, really hurt on the inside.
I can't feel any of this.
Like, I thought it was cool, but I before that scene, I came into it knowing that he got the BAFTA instead of Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, he's good. I think Boy's better, though.
I do, too. And actually, Freya was really good. Her
especially near the end, with her just being
yeah.
so regretful and just being a mother type. It was really interesting.
Her last little speech about wanting to take Kratos through every realm, parading his dead body. Oh, chills.
And the Mimir was really cool, well written.
Oh god, yeah.
There was a really cool theme of familicide throughout the entirety of it and family relationships. And I'm really interested to see how they keep it up in the future games.
Oh.
Especially because, where is it? Do I talk about it later in the good? Yeah, especially considering at the end where like they're seeing in the land of the giants, their adventures up to that point prophesize on the walls, and then Kratos sees Boy killing him.
So what it was Atreus holding Kratos, his dead body, and basically Atreus birthing the world snake, the world serpent, Jormungandr. And I'm very interested to see how that actually plays out.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see how they keep up that whole familicide and family relationships throughout. It was really cool because this game was all about keeping Kratos' past and nature a secret from Atreus for his protection.
Right.
And the subsequent games are going to be about keeping Kratos' future a secret from Atreus.
Right. And we're going to keep the family part going because the future games are going to deal with Thor and then Odin and then Freya is still going to be a key player.
In this game we only got minor Asia.
Right.
And we did get a little snapshot of Thor in one of the cool little hidden endings.
You missed a little part. This is going to be a spoiler for you, actually, if I cannot tell you this. This is about after the final Valkyrie fight. It's just like a little thing. Do you mind if I tell you?
Go ahead.
Okay, so after you defeat the last Valkyrie, Mimir actually tells you that basically Freya got her wings back and she was actually the Queen Valkyrie. And so that's going to be something that we get to do. Freya is going to be a big player in the next 2, possibly 3 games. I've heard talks that there's going to be 4.
We haven't gotten an official announcement yet. I think they said something about a PlayStation Direct. They're not going to be at E3, but God of War 2 is going to be a launch title for the PS5.
I really hope so.
Easily. One of my favorite moments from this was right at the end when Freya is just giving Kratos the business about being a
hypocrite.
About being a hypocrite, about trying to tell everybody and then keeping stuff a secret from Atreus. The business in the story. And then Kratos is just basically saying, fuck you, and then just tells Atreus everything.
Right.
That was cool.
I killed my father.
It was like he kept it hidden throughout the entire thing. He let it off that they were gods, but like he kept it all to himself.
I'm expecting this to come up in the other games, but another big thing that I imagine we'll get is Kratos killed his old wife and daughter. That's why he's always pale. That will be something that you're going to have to go over. That's going to be another one of those big revelations for Atreus. It's like, I think a family before.
I think he said he killed his wife and mother. He killed his wife and daughter to Atreus.
He didn't.
I thought he did.
No,
I mean, you've New Game Plus it more than I have, so.
Yeah. No, he didn't mention that. That's going to be another big thing for one of the next games, for sure.
Also, you said at the end, there's a twist. I really should have seen the Loki reveal coming, you know?
I loved it.
Atreus is Loki, for the record.
Yeah.
Reveal. I should have seen it coming as soon as the picture of Faye popped up in the Land of the Giants was shown. Half god, half giant. Joke about shapeshifting. Can you turn into an animal? Literally turns blue sometimes in the last fight.
Yeah.
I should have seen it coming.
Yeah,
Faye calls Atreus Loki to the giants. So he's the god of trickery.
I love that reveal.
Because
I really did not see it. Even the director, Cory Balrog, when his writers came to him with that, he was like, oh, cool. He was even shocked by it.
That was cool. What I loved also, my next point, it is perfect in the callbacks to the past games.
Yeah.
They acknowledge the events of the past without jamming the nostalgia down your throats.
Right.
There will be an occasional powerful being saying, "I know what you are," or just showing an ornate Spartan vase featuring Kratos.
Mm-hmm.
That's just so subtle, so cool. And then I was not expecting Kratos to bust out the Blades of Chaos, and I was like
love that
noticeably
moment.
shook when they did that. Where
Love
he's
that.
just like, "Oh, you're not going to be able to kill anybody in Helheim. You're going to need something. You're going to need a different sort of weapon." And he's like, "I know one."
And he does not want to go get those weapons.
And like you're slowly going back up the river to your shack.
Right.
Noticeably slower to just go in and grab them. All while you're being haunted by Athena, I think.
Yeah, Athena.
Yeah. That was cool.
And so for backstory on that, Kratos got those blades from Ares, who gave him his power originally. And
Athena was a more major character, I think, in the second one, right?
Yeah, and she gave him a different pair of blades.
Yeah,
they were called like blades of the gods or something like that. Yeah. But the blades of chaos were given to him by Ares, and so like those were like what he killed his wife and daughter with. Like he hates those blades. You know, he did not want to go get those. So to see him like conflicted about that, but like he has to do it, you know, super cool.
That was just a really cool moment.
Mm-hmm.
The combat's very fluid, lots of cool, meaningful combinations and abilities to use that are actually all pretty necessary later on.
Yeah.
I felt like you didn't need to just spam anything besides just using boys' arrows the entire time. I felt like each grunt enemy has a different strategy to defeat it, whether it's just arrow stunning them and then slashing while they're stunned, shield break and slash, dodge rolling, or even just spamming some attacks.
Right.
Each of them requires a different way to beat it, which was cool. There was a very good base difficulty for a game. I never really felt like any bit was a cakewalk. Bosses were all challenging, and beating them was rewarding. Even some of the mid bosses were still challenging by the end. And then it's interesting, different ways to play through the game, which is pretty cool. From pure strength builds to rage builds, to tank builds, and okay, this was ridiculous. It's ridiculous for me seeing how many people, like on the God of War Reddit, when asked about how many playthroughs they're on / times they played through it until they switch to a different game, and seeing answers like 7 times is a low-end response.
Oh yeah, I very rarely replay single-player games, and like I am a self-professed lover of the Dark Souls games, and even those ones, I will usually do 2, maximum 3 playthroughs of those games, you know. I played through this one 4 times, and I just started my 5th on my dad's PS4 Pro so that I could see how it all looks again on the PS4 Pro.
Of course. And then my last part of the good is it's a very solid length for a game.
Yeah.
Like for a single player story game, well worth the $60 price, and even better if you can get it for less than that, like you can now.
Oh yeah.
My friend literally got it for $23.
You can't get any game better than that for $23.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, we are on to the bad.
There's bad stuff.
There's some genuinely bad stuff.
Right away, the
biggest complaint, 85% of the enemies are palette swapped.
Oh god, yeah.
It is ridiculous seeing the same exact troll or ogre with a different color of the rainbow slapped on him and calling him a brand new, distinct character.
Right.
Like I was talking about how cool that fire and frost ogre / troll fight was as a boss fight at the end. They were the exact same palette swaps that I've seen 10 times before it.
Yeah.
Like, it's especially apparent in the story mission to kill the gatekeeper in Alfheim and take his heart, because he was just one of the troll reskins that has the big ass pillar that he uses to hit you with, and it's the same exact execution at the end to kill him. And it's annoying seeing the same thing every time. But what's fun? It's absolutely comical though, just looking through the codex and seeing these named characters with their own distinct lore, and the drawings for each is the exact fucking same.
I will defend this a little bit. Well, not defend it, because I do like having a good wide variety of enemies. But I will say that the next games will probably not have that as bad, because they were building this game up so much from the ground. I think that now that they have a good base to work off of, they can focus a little more on variety, because that was a big complaint. And I think that especially a company like Santa Monica that really likes, they really, really like appreciate this game and the fans. They pour their heart into this stuff. I think that they're going to try and fix that for sure.
So that was by far the biggest complaint that everybody had about this game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, it should be better in future games when you're actually fighting gods. And we're going to delve more into some of the stuff later on. But, like, I'm interested to see them actually going into the whole dark elf versus light elf thing that was happening in Alfheim, to see what they're going to do with that. That'll be interesting.
I hope that they keep some of these areas, but give you different places to explore. And
yes.
Yes.
Because it's still completely unlike railroads in every single midsection, but yeah.
And I think there were 2 or 3 realms that you can never access through the game. One of them being
well, the lands you can't access. There are 3 of the 9 realms.
Yeah.
It's the land of the gods, the land of the dwarfs, and the land of the. Oh god, what was the other land?
I can't remember the other one that you can't get to.
It was like the people that fought the gods or something. Yeah, the Valmir. The Valmir, Valmir, yeah. The land of the original magic people, yeah.
So that
which it makes sense if you're gonna lock different realms, especially in a game that's gonna get 2 or 3 more sequels.
Right.
You're gonna want to save those for later on when it gets big and big. Yeah. My next complaint is that some of the mid-level enemies are still fucking annoying way past the point where they should still be challenging. For sure. Like the Revenants and the Dark Elf King-like enemy. They become marginally easier later on when you get more stuff, but they're still much more difficult than a Sergeant-like enemy at that point should be.
Right. And the Revenants especially.
Yeah. Like, it's especially apparent against other enemies that are in the same role, like Ogres and Trolls.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because those guys are pretty easy to fight, but the Revenants you can't actually hit, and the Dark Elves that just zip around everywhere and turn off all the lights to hit you with.
Oh god, I hate that.
They're way more annoying at that point of the game than they should be. Like the first couple fights against them are really, really cool, really interesting. Especially that Dark Elf boss fight was really cool, and I took a while for me to beat that.
Me too.
When they throw them at you later in the game, they're still just as annoying, and it's dumb because you shouldn't still be having difficulties against this part.
Mm-hmm.
That was annoying. Yeah. Another bad side is that the early game is a drag.
Oh.
It plays incredibly slow up until the Baldur fight.
It's awful.
On top of that, the tutorials of the game don't really stop until you get the chisel after the Frost Giant area. Yeah. And at that point, the game is like 50 or 60% over. Like, my friend saw I was playing this game, looked at the price and saw it was as low as it's ever been apart from Black Friday, like $23. And he got it. And he said the exact same thing and almost put the game down before he got to the Baldur fight.
Oh, God.
And he's also getting his ass beat at the game, too. Like, he thinks it's extremely hard.
So he almost just stopped playing before the Baldur fight?
Yeah, because it was such a drag, but the Baldur fight's so good. Because you think, it's just spamming enemies, throwing my axe, sniping away, and then it's just so cool. You try throwing your axe at Baldur, which is how you did every single fight before, dodges out of the way and punches you in the fucking face. Great.
I just was watching my dad do that fight, and I was specifically waiting to come down here and record because I wanted to see his reaction to that first time that Baldur punches him up in the air, and he's just like kind of just sitting there with it. He wasn't talking too much throughout playing the game. He just goes, "Oh shit!"
Like that first Baldur fight might be one of my favorite boss fights in all of gaming.
It's really, really good.
Yeah,
they're gonna keep bumping that up for sure.
God, it was so good. Just long my friend who started to play more and more said he just did this point, just throwing all the upgrades into Boy. So just let Boy do all the work and tank everything.
Easy.
Like.
Do all your damage with your arrows.
Do all the arrow damage, just go up into melee with them, and you can just sit back. Yeah. And then, I don't want to have to press my controller until the arrows are off cooldown.
You want to eventually roll all the way, like after 15 minutes of spamming arrows, and then set up a new spot, and then spam arrows for another 15 minutes.
Yeah, but I'm like, you can max out boys so quickly.
Oh yeah,
it's usually yeah. I'm interested to see because a lot of the combos that creators can get are extremely necessary later on. I'm interested to see how it goes. Another complaint I had is that this game is way too fetch questy.
Yep.
Most of the favor missions fall into this category as well as the main story. The story felt like you grabbed one special item only to realize it is incomplete, and you have to find another special item. Then you get to the new location using the two items, only to realize what you were after isn't actually what you needed in the end. This goes on until the end of the game.
Yeah. Go here, get MacGuffin, go somewhere else, get MacGuffin to go get the other MacGuffin, you know?
Like, I'm getting more impatient when I'm playing games at this point, especially near the end. But, like, when I got to the end, it's like, okay, we're going to go to the land of the giants. And, like, every time I felt like we did something meaningful, it's like, oh, now I have to grab something else. I'm like, just
let me go.
Like, I'm okay with having to do stuff if it varies, but it's just fetch questing the entire time. Right. It's like, oh, fetch this flower in the garden, fetch the blades back, fetch the chisel, fetch Mimir's head, fetch. It's so much.
I did like fetching Mimir's head though.
That was fun. Yeah. Thing with the menus, you should be able to sell more stuff than you actually can. I felt like my inventory is cluttered with axe and blade pommels that I'm never going to use.
You could sell all those.
I couldn't. I don't think I could.
That's weird. You should be able to.
The axe or blade pommels. I don't think I was able to. I just had a ton of my inventory.
That's a little weird because I always had like a few in my inventory. I had the ones that I liked, you know. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. And then when it comes to puzzles and travel, the game slows way the hell down.
Yeah.
Like moving the light crystals, timed winds of Helheim, moving the totems for them everywhere, unlocking big boy fast travel 80% through the game, mind you. You don't have meaningful fast travel like till 80% through the game.
Right.
That's just bad.
Oh, and the fast travel wasn't even that good. The fast travel was like a loading screen, you know? Yeah. That's how they did it all. Because they didn't have any loading screens in the game.
No.
But yeah, it was rough.
On top of that, having to press a button instead of automatically scaling walls and being forced to climb walls instead of jumping down them. These are glaring issues in an otherwise good game.
I think they need to do a few extra. Like, they tried to get away from the quick time event stuff. You know, they made an active effort for that, but there's a few things that they need to do.
Like, you're still having button mashing quick time events. Right. That's PS3. Like, it came out in 2018. Santa Monica Studios really should have been better than this.
Yeah.
Especially with all the enemies that were just the same. But that's all the bad. That's all the bad.
At the end of the day, what do you think?
So I actually did some more work with this too.
Yeah.
Are you on the? I'm gonna post something.
Okay.
On top of the God of War, I'll post it at the bottom of the God of War review.
Okay.
I came out. This is version 1 of the official Ben rating system.
Ooh! Oh, exciting!
Yeah.
Oh wow!
It is a 1 through 7 rating system for games. I use a wide variety of games.
Wow, this is a
1 through 7.
Exciting.
1 is atrocious. Sell it if you can. Game has no redeeming factors. My example game for this was Madden 12 for the Nintendo Wii. Because that game is just atrocious. Specifically the Wii version, because it's just bad. Right. At 2, I have Mass Effect Andromeda. Has way more issues than good things about it. The average gamer probably shouldn't play it, but I could actually recommend it to somebody depending on who it is.
Like, you know, somebody that loves, like, if somebody loves the series and like,
I disagree with that. If you love the series, you shouldn't play Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah, no, I love the original Mass Effects. I will not touch Andromeda with a 10-foot pole.
I mean, it's a standalone game. It's okay, but it has Mass Effect slapped on it, which is worse. And then I drew a fine line after 2. So 3 to 7 are all games that you should play.
Right.
That I would actually recommend to somebody. So for 3 to 5, I have those as my average game, slightly below average to above average. definitely worth playing, but you can wait for a price drop on all of them if you can, and be fine. 3, slightly below average, definitely worth playing. Wait for a price drop. It's definitely worth your time. For my example for this, I have Until Dawn.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah, like that's a good wait for the price to drop game for sure.
Good. Like I got that game. It was a really interesting game for me. I love watching a playthrough of it, and then it was a free game of the month a while ago, and I love picking it up.
Like that's actually exactly how I feel about Detroit Become Human.
Yeah.
Wait for that one to drop in price, and you'll have a good time with it.
It's a bad game, but a good movie, and you should play it.
Right.
I put my 3 ranking is there's more bad than good, but you should still play it. It's worth playing. 4, it's right down the middle, average. You're not going to regret playing it no matter what the price is. You should play it. Solid game. I have Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. Mm-hmm. A classic that every gamer should own.
Absolutely.
Of course. And then 5 I have, it's above average, well worth your time. Get it if you can for a price drop. Even if it's not a price drop, you should probably get it. I have Red Dead Redemption 2 for this.
Okay.
It has more good things about it than issues, but it still has quite a bit of issues. And Red Dead 2 had quite a bit.
Red Dead has some issues, for sure.
And it's still you definitely should play it. 6 is just amazing game, typical game of the year candidate winner. Well worth it no matter what price you get at it, but still definitely have its glaring issues. Mm-hmm. Everyone with this system should play the game.
Yeah.
That's the major distinction.
System sellers.
Yeah, that's the major distinction I put between 6 and 7. 6 has issues. Everyone with the system should play the game. 7 is perfect or near perfect. In the discussion for best game of all time, everyone, no matter even what system, should play it. I got Pokemon Gold and Silver for that.
Nice.
Classics. So, in the conclusion, really, for God of War, really amazing game, clearly deserving winning game of the year over Rootin' Tootin' Cowboy Shootin' 2.
I agree.
I definitely would probably have that over Red Dead 2 if I was voting for game of the year. One of the best stories and some of the best characters I've ever seen in gaming. Amazing boss fights and combat, great graphics, and solid difficulty. Though it has a lot of glaring issues that shouldn't exist in 2018 that really take away from an otherwise perfect game. Overall, I put it right in that 6 out of 7 spot.
Nice. I think that's very deserving of that.
Everyone with a PS4 should play this game at some point.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I started this out on a scale of 10. I had it about 8 and a half out of 10.
I like this though. I think this is a good pattern.
I'm liking 1 through 7.
I like
with the distinction that anything 3 and above, even though 3 is below average, is something worth playing.
Well, I got another 6 for you. If you're good up on God of War.
Is it Sekiro?
It's Sekiro. Sekiro is my new 6.
We'll see. But overall, 6 out of 7. Everyone with the PS4 should play this game at some point. 2018 was the year of the PS4. Red Dead Redemption 2 gave you the story. Spider-Man gave you the gameplay. God of War gives you both.
For sure.
That's the distinction I make between those games.
Yeah.
The issues in this game are very blatant and practically unforgivable, but what's good in this game more than makes up for the bad.
Oh, for sure.
But some of the bad are genuinely bad, like the palette swap monsters and slow gameplay out of combat. Mm-hmm. That needs to be fixed. I'm not a fan of hack and slash games typically, which is why I also put it lower. But this one makes me excited for the next entries in the series, if they're as good as this one. And even for the right plays, I might try and get the first 3.
For me, the next one will be a system seller for me at this point.
Oh, most definitely.
Like my last really big system seller for me was Bloodborne. Just really solid games that I know for sure I'm going to enjoy, and that one will be one that I know that if I'm going to get a PS4 or a PS5 and only one game, and that only one game is going to be God of War, 2 or 5 or whatever they're going to call it, depending on who you ask.
360.
Then God of War 360, God of War 1,
the first VR God of War game.
I would be furious. I'm going to get a PS5 to play God of War 2 or 5.
Who knows? Maybe if we're still doing the podcast when it comes out, we can play at the same time and talk about it.
Hell yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah.
But my new 6 that I just beat last night.
You were telling me about it.
Everyone was asleep in my house. I had nobody to talk to about it. let me take you back in time to when
Mm-hmm.
Dark Souls 1 came out.
Dark
And
Souls.
I was just a filthy fucking casual. I got to the final boss of Dark Souls 1,
Mm-hmm.
Lord Gwyn, and I spent about 3 weeks trying to kill this fucking boss. I went through and I collected everything I possibly could to try and make this boss easier.
Mm-hmm.
I did everything, and then I finally killed him, and I got up and I screamed and ran around the house. I was so goddamn excited.
Now, I believe 2 or 3 weeks ago, on our last podcast or two, I said, I don't know much about Sekiro, but from what I've seen from people that played it, that it's about a 30-hour game. The first 10 are the actual game, and the last 20 hours is the final boss.
For sure. That's about where I was at.
Yeah.
I got to the final boss, and I just got stuck. How the bosses in Sekiro work is they have different stages and different life bars.
Well, yeah.
And most of the bosses have 2 stages, 2 health bars, and you need to kill them twice to, defeat them. The final boss of Sekiro had 4 health bars.
Oh man.
And 2 different people that you fought, all on one of your lives. I finally killed the boss. I had only ever gotten to the second stage, and my final attempt, I was the first time I was seeing any of the last stages, so I was kind of freaking out. But I managed to kill him on my first time on the last stage.
That's
and
awesome.
I freaked out. I was shaking for like 15 minutes because I was so jacked up. But man, Sekiro was fantastic. I know you're not a Souls fan, but it was special. It was one of those games that took me back to that Dark Souls 1 feeling, which I got stupidly into Dark Souls 1, I knew all the lore. I knew every part of the map. I could walk through that map blindfolded if I needed to.
Mm-hmm.
And Sekiro gave me that feeling again, everything was very well done. I really, really loved the combat. The combat was different from all of the other ones, all of the Souls games, because it's specialized. The way that you're fighting these bosses, if you're fighting them correctly, is the way that they're intended to be fought. But they're still kick your ass, Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The combat really, if you get into the old habits of all the other Souls games of just consistently trying to dodge and trying to poke people down, do damage over time, you'll get destroyed. You need to be up in these bosses' faces fighting them. And actually getting really, really good with the mechanics. If you don't learn the mechanics of this game, you are fucked. You will never beat this game. So by the time I beat this boss, I was like, I can beat any of those bosses, no problem now.
God,
I got them. I know how to beat every last one of these bosses because I know the mechanics.
That's they made you master the game to actually beat it.
Exactly. I beat the final boss without any of the prosthetics. I didn't want any crutch, any hand holding through the last boss. I wanted to beat the boss.
Wait,
on my
really?
Entrance,
You didn't even wait. So you didn't have any upgrades?
So no, I had upgrades and everything, but you get prosthetics, and that's kind of your variety in your gameplay is using prosthetics and using different. They're called combat arts, and that's just kind of special moves that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't use any of the special moves, and I didn't use any of the prosthetics. I wanted to just straight up fight the dude,
Wow.
Just katana v katana, fight this guy. And killing him finally at the very end, it was satisfying.
It sounds like you made it way harder than it needed to be.
To a degree, actually, because I think that with that boss, a few of the prosthetics and trying to gimmick it a little bit, trying to kind of crutch yourself and make it a little easier for you.
Yeah.
I feel like that takes away your focus and can throw off your game on that, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was just I want to just know how to beat this boss. And kind of how I took it was I just wanted to learn each stage as I went through it. If I wanted to, get through each stage and then maybe use some prosthetics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I got to that final stage 4, and I was just blazing through it. I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it without it.
I guess that makes sense because getting rid of those can prevent tunnel vision in some games. Like you're just like, okay, I want this ability to be off cooldown. Get off cooldown, and then you die while you're waiting for it to whatnot. I know that happens to me in Overwatch a bit.
So like another earlier boss was called the Corrupted Monk. And one of the very easy ways to cheese that boss was use this firecracker prosthetic.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned that fight. I figured out how to actually do that fight, and it was way more entertaining. You know, like actually learning how to do those fights. There are certain bosses that you can cheese in that game.
Of course.
But you're doing yourself a disservice by cheesing those bosses because they're really well designed.
Oh, yeah.
Really well designed. I mean, the final boss in Sekiro is called Ishin, the Sword Saint. Well, there's kind of 3 different.
I heard depending on how you played, you got different versions.
Yeah, so there were 2 branches of final bosses that you could go down.
Yeah,
both of them ended with the same Ishin guy.
Did you do the you're a good person one or the bad person one?
I did the I'm a good person one. I didn't get the best ending. I didn't get the purification ending, but I got the good ending, Yeah. So it was good. It was really good. It was a very hard 6. And I could see a DLC that they released because they really knock it out of the park all the time with the DLCs.
Bloodborne,
I could see, Bloodborne. Oh, the old Huntress DLC. That's a fantastic DLC. I could see that getting pushed to my favorite Souls game with the DLC, which would make it a 7. Because right now, Dark Souls 1 is a 7 for me.
Really? Okay.
It is. For my love of the game, as well as just the world building, the storyline, the combat, the exploration, the war. I mean, that one is a 7 for me. If I was to take your ratings, I think I would only have 2 7s. I'd say Dark Souls 1 and Hotline Miami 2 would be my 7s.
To be fair, I have 2 7s on mine, Pokemon Gold and Silver.
You do. You absolutely do.
I'd probably put Pokemon Gold ahead of Silver because Pokemon Gold you get Teddy Ursa, and Teddy Ursa is one of the best Pokemon ever created. So.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I could see with the DLC, Sekiro potentially knock. For me, the big 3 of Souls games are Bloodborne, Dark Souls 1, and
Sekiro. I put the distinction between 6 and 7 here. Is that I have 7 as a near perfect game / perfect game.
Right.
In the discussion for best of all time, everyone should play it.
Right.
Would you honestly recommend Dark Souls 1 to everyone?
No. Okay.
That's the distinction I'd make.
For me, it's a 7, but for everyone else, it's not a 7.
Because I believe Donkey had a video. I think it was one of his Game of the Year videos.
Yeah.
Where he talked about Dark Souls 3 was on that list. And he said just like, remember how you would just swing your sword and it would clang against the wall every single time? Remember how if you got too close to the Hydra, you would just fall in the lake and die? Remember how if you got bit by a poison snake, you would just whittle down all your health until you die? Remember Snake Fortress?
Snake Fortress is a goddamn temple. I love that place. I adore Sense Fortress. I personally, even those complaints.
Yeah.
There are ways to, play around all that,
Of course.
But Sekiro, it's got a few things that it does poorly, but those are based off of the other Souls games, I guess.
Yeah.
You could say. Because a lot of people complain that it doesn't have the same variety of combat or anything like that. But if you examine it in a bubble and just say, this is Sekiro, it's not a Souls game.
Yeah.
I think it does everything that it does beautifully. I adore that game. I'm going to play it again because I got to get the other endings. So I'm going to go torture myself some more, probably right after this. But yeah, it's the DLC could push it into 7 territory for me for sure.
Yeah.
But definitely play it if you are a Souls fan.
Okay. That's the
All right.
distinction.
I've got nothing. You got anything else?
You're saying Hotline Miami 2 is one of your best games of all time.
Hotline Miami 2, I would recommend to everyone. Yeah.
I played the first Hotline Miami. I got it when PlayStation gave me some free credit, and I got the first one on PS4. And then you gave me a free code for it on Steam, and I have not played it on Steam. I played like 5 minutes of it on Steam. But
Hotline Miami 2 is what, for me, what I consider to be like a flawless game. I adore that game.
I enjoy the first Hotline Miami. I kind of want to play through Hotline Miami 2 because I think that'd be a fun game for us to talk about.
I would love to.
And to hear my reactions from it. But I would need to play through the first one again for it, just to.
I might just play through them again just for the hell of it.
I'm saying this especially because there's a new Hotline Miami-esque game that came out recently called Katana Zero.
I saw a trailer for that one, and that's the first thing I thought of.
It's basically you have a sword. You're like a samurai, a katana, if you will.
Right.
No health bar. Being hit is instant death. Going through all the different side-scrolling rooms. Attempt to kill enemies using environmental traps or his weapon. Can deflect bullets with a slash as well as dodge using rolls. It's a combination of Hotline Miami and then dodge rolls for Dark Souls. It seems like it's the perfect game for you.
To me, what it sounds like you're saying, it's the Sekiro of Hotline Miami games.
Honestly, that's exactly what it is.
Oh my god!
Exactly what it is. Oh man. It's on PC and Switch.
Yeah, that's gonna be one that I'm gonna play next. Do you know when it comes out?
It's out.
It's out.
It's out. It came out April 18th.
I might buy that right now.
April 18th.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you can get it on Steam right this very second.
Oh my goodness.
Right this very second.
All right. Well, that's all.
I'm gonna go play Katana Zero.
Yeah, I got some Katana Zero to go play. Next week we're gonna be going over Stage 2 playoffs. We're gonna be going over me binging Katana Zero for the next week.
We'll talk about Katana Zero. Next, you can give us the official Katana Zero review.
Oh yeah,
throw it on here. I'll probably get it at some point. Because I don't want to spend as much money right now because I have a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, got my friend's bachelor party next weekend.
Oh, nice.
And his wedding is the week after. And there's a lot of stuff going on, so.
Nice.
Yeah. It's the same that friend that I always talk about on the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, one last really quick thing. How excited, because we touched on it briefly, but this is an Overwatch podcast, and I will be damned if we didn't spend at least 5 minutes talking about Pokemon.
Again, because I actually had a really good one to bring up.
Are you going to be going to see Detective Pikachu this week?
That's your ass. I'm seeing it.
Oh hell week. Yeah!
There's Thursday. I'm going to see it on Thursday. It comes out Friday.
Nice.
I looked at the times for it because my brother and I was looking up what Thursday showing we could see it at. And they have a Thursday showing at the Cinemark at 4 p.m.
Really?
We're going to see it then, but I have to pick my mom up from the airport then. So I'm seeing it at 6:40 on Thursday. I'm extremely excited.
All right. Well, we'll talk about Pokemon next week. We'll talk about Detective Pikachu next week, too.
Detective Pikachu next week. You'll probably have beaten Katana Zero by then.
Right.
We can talk All-Star Weekend. We can talk the stage playoffs. And whatever they announce in between for Overwatch.
All right. Sounds good. Right. Thank you for joining us on the Full Tank Podcast. We'll see you next week. Also,
Game Informer, I think, or some sub website.
Oh yeah.
Posted out an article saying everything we know about Pokemon Sword and Shield for the Switch.
Ooh.
And everybody in the comments were just like, there's if you've watched the trailer for it, that's literally everything we know. There has been absolutely no information about it since it was released 2 months ago. Stop this clickbait.
We'll get some information soon.
I want some Pokemon news so bad. I think E3 is next month, so we'll get it then, but
hopefully.
We'll get it then. I tweeted out at Nintendo, it's like, hey, Nintendo, my birthday's coming up in 7 months. You should give me some Pokemon Sword and Shield news. Also, it's the last day of Archive, so you should buy more loot boxes.
Oh, of course.
There it is.
All right.
Okay,
Thank
take
you
care,
for
my
joining
dude.
us.
You'll see you.
Bye.